Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with a little diamond surfing for Friday, August 5th. Hope you have yourself a good start to your friendly Friday. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner. All right, we're going to take a look around at the Major League Baseball going into this weekend, and what I always do here sometimes on the show is I always talk about the SBI, the Sports Betting Index. I always want to have my finger on the pulse. What is coming in? Favorites, underdogs, overs, unders. And later on in the show, I got a good stat for you guys on home teams versus lefties. And we'll take a look at that in just a few minutes. But let's take a look at the last 7 days in Major League Baseball. You can see the favorites still bullish, 61.7%. And when I mean bullish, that means teams that are 57.2 to 100%. And that's where I get the bullish cycles, just like you do in the stock market, right? What's the old adage in the stocks? You buy low, sell high. And what we're looking to do is trying to find value with the baseball picks for today going into this weekend. And again, 61.7. Yesterday, 7-5 for the favorites. In fact, the last time the underdogs took the day was July 27th. And since then, it's been all favorites. And that's been the case in all sports, NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball. Once you get past the trade deadline, you tend to see more of the favorites come in. And on the 7-day average for the over-unders, even Steven, 50.6% of the favorites have come in. Pretty good day yesterday, 7-2-3 to the over. So let's take a look at the last 7 days, 78% yesterday. So you can see bullish market yesterday, but the bookmakers have done a good job all season with the over-unders. 49 and 51 when it comes to the over-unders. Favorites, 58.9 on the season. All right, let's take a look at the Bears and Bulls report. And what I do in this segment is, as you know, in the Raymond report, we take a look at teams that are A, B, and C-type teams. A-type teams are teams above 60%. B-type teams are 50 to 59.9. And C-type teams, those are teams below 50%. And you can see right now the A-type teams, they are either bullish or neutral. In fact, the only bearish team that I see is the C-type teams. And if you scroll down and look at all the C-type teams, C-type teams, like I said, they're teams below 500, and you expect these teams to be bearish because they are not very good on the season, according to the record. Like Bill Parcells says, you are what your record says you are. And those C-type teams, they all are struggling right now, except for Texas, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Kansas City, and Oakland. They are neutral, meaning in their last 7 games, they're either 4-3, 3-4. But aside from that, the B-type teams, you can see here the bullish teams and the B-type teams, San Diego, Toronto, St. Louis, Philadelphia, and Baltimore. Those are your bullish teams. And to me, you got to be careful betting on these games because, you know, they're in a bullish cycle. It all depends how many days they've been bullish. But I always find value in the yellow teams, the neutrals, and that would be the Yankees, Houston, Atlanta, Seattle, Milwaukee, Tampa Bay, Minnesota, and Cleveland. And those are the teams I'll be handicapping here later on in the show. All right, let's take a look at the those value. You know, I talk about all the time, value versus perception, right? What's the perception? The perception of handicapping or sports betting is what the bookmaker and the public thinks the line should be, and the reality is what's the outcome of the game, right? So I always take the perception, the before, and the after snapshot of sports handicapping, and what I've done is created a tool here at atsstats.com. If you go to tools and you go to the value report, and let's do a couple of examples of today, and let's take a look at Baltimore. So Baltimore, a B-type team in the Raymond report, so I'm going to click on favorites right here. I'm going to go to the B section where Baltimore is. Now Baltimore is right here, and they're playing Pittsburgh, a C-type teams below 500. And when Baltimore is at home against those C-type teams in the Raymond report, the average line is minus 123, and you can see today they are minus 155, so they are overvalued. So that, what does that tell you? That the bookmakers are not giving you a discount on the Baltimore Orioles. That means if you really like them, then you're going to have to pay 155. But if you're really looking for the true market value of Baltimore today, it should be minus 123. But here's the thing. When you look at a line like this and you're saying, okay, your perception of the line from the bookmaker is 155, but in reality, the line is normally 123 when they're at home against those C-type teams. So what should I do, right? What should I be looking at? Well, here's the thing. Because they're 155 on the line and 123, because they're 123, undervalued. So they are, no, overvalued. That's right. Overvalued because they're at minus 155. to me, it's a guessing game. It's between you and the bookmaker, and what does he know that you don't know? And the one thing with the bookmakers, like my good friend Ross Benjamin says all the time, the bookmakers know. They know exactly what is going on, and you got to think like a bookmaker. That's what he says. He always says you got to think like a bookmaker, and you got to ask yourself, why is the bookmakers making Baltimore a -155 favorite when Pittsburgh just had a pretty good 3-game series against Milwaukee? They swept them, and now they're on the road. But there's the question, right? There's the answer. They're on the road where they are 19-33 on the season. Baltimore 29-20, and when Baltimore's at home against those C-type teams, they are 31-21. Now, from an analytical point of view, everything is throwing flowers to Baltimore, right? But here's the thing. I look for fair market value. If I were to bet this game, or if I were to play this game here today, I would look for a $10 difference when it comes to perception versus reality. So let's say this line here was -143 instead of, or 147. Let's go 147, and the line's 155. That's an $8 to $7 difference, right? So then I would say, okay, it's in my $10 range. Now that's fair market value. There's no advantage between me and the bookmakers, because now when I look at this and I say, well, the line should be 123 and the bookmaker is trying to make it 155, what does the bookmaker know? Why is he trying to make me overpay for this this price here on Baltimore when the line really should be 123? And that's the guessing game. Now you got to start guessing and really digging deep into the analytics, situational handicapping. Go look at the roster, look at the starting pitchers, and that's where, between you and the bookmaker, you got to start asking yourself, okay, what does he know that I don't know, and why isn't the line closer to 155? Had it been closer to 155, then I feel me and him are on the same wavelength, and it's fair market value, and it's even, right? And I'll give you another example of fair market value. Let's see if I can find one right here. Let me check some of the games right now, and let me look at some of the other lines that I see. Milwaukee. No, Milwaukee's overvalued. All right, here's a good one. Toronto. Let's go to the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, the Blue Jays are a B-type team in the rain. They're on the road against another B-type team in Minnesota. And when Toronto's on the road against those B-type teams, well, they are normally a -129 favorite, and tonight they are -125. So there's that $4 difference. So there's no overvalue or undervalue. It's fair market value, and that's what I love about this line between me and the bookmaker. There really isn't a perception versus reality difference, and that's why I think this is a good line to handicap when it comes to value. So when I'm shopping for value, I think this is a good game of fairness between you and the bookmaker, where this is a fair line where I don't have to start guessing what they know and I don't know, right? So there's a good example of perception versus reality. All right, I told you I would look into the teams, the home teams versus left-handed pitchers, the Southpaws this year. Look at the New York Yankees at home against those Southpaws. 15-0 on the season, pretty good record. Let's scroll right down here. One team, look at Baltimore versus Lefties. 13-5 at home this season. And Baltimore, you know what? Compared to a couple last 2-3 seasons, they are having a pretty good year. And they're in a tough division in American League East. Let's take a look at some of these other teams right here. And nothing really standing out right now. Oakland 4-12, but look at the under, 5-12-1 at home against Lefties. Seattle 4-11. That's interesting. A B-type team. They don't do well versus Southpaws. And what else we got here? Houston 11-6 versus Lefties, but Houston a really good team. Atlanta 19-5 against the Southpaws, which is very good. You can see Washington. Yeah. Let me see any other value here. St. Louis, Pittsburgh. We got Cincinnati, Milwaukee, San Francisco 15-7 against Southpaws. Dodgers 12-5. Arizona nothing, and Colorado. San Diego 11-6-1 to the over. So just a little facts and tidbits on the Lefties at home against left-handed pitchers. And here's our top 25 sports betting options today. Just like you do in the stock market, you have options. And these are the top 5 betting options today in Major League Baseball. And what I do in this segment, or this feature right here, is instead of doing a power rating where I would always give you, like, say, the favorites, I look at games through cycles. If you look at the big picture of things, like the micro and macro environment of baseball, or any sport for that matter, when teams are at the overall record, that's what their record is, right? So if I look at the New York Yankees on the season, I believe they got, 70 wins? In fact, let me go pick it up right now, and I'll just, for this example, it'll be much easier if I just show you this way. So the Yankees on the season, 70-36, right? So when you do the math, and I don't have my calculator handy, it's close to 60-some%, right? 67 maybe. And when you look at the top 25 sports betting option here for the New York Yankees, in their last 7 games, they're neutral. So from a small cycle point of view, they're 3-4, 4-3 in their last 7. That's what neutral tells me. And they've been neutral for 9 days. And they come in today at number 5 on the top 5 sports betting option, minus 150. And you can see the line on the daily market value index is 163. So undervalued today, but still $13 under my line. So they're undervalued. So I got to find out why they're undervalued. Well, they're on the road, and they haven't been that good on the road the last 15 games or so. LA Angels cycles is neutral 10 days. So they are an underdog today against Seattle, against Robbie Ray. And let me see, against those B-type teams, they are only won 18% of their games. So maybe, and again, C-type teams, you know the rules, right? I don't bet on C-type teams. A-type teams, Houston against Cleveland. I do like Houston here. I don't know if I'd bet them at minus 200. Seattle, Robbie Ray, minus 200, a little bit expensive. And St. Louis, the number 1 betting option today. I do like the St. Louis Cardinals. I did put them as one of my top plays at bullpenpicks.com, and they've been neutral for 15 days. And against B-type teams, they have a winning percentage of 42%, which is not that great. 31-20 at home. And when you look at the line value, normally when they're a home underdog, they are plus 119. And you can see right here, plus 130. So very close to fair market value. But here's the good news. The chance of winning this game, the percentage play, which is rule number 2 in the Raymond report. In fact, let me bring up my rules of sports handicapping. And if you go to the tutorials, you see rule number 1 is value, percentage play, performance cycles, player availability / injuries, and a money management system. But rule number 2, the percentage play. Normally, if I like an underdog, it has to be 40% or higher, and we are getting right there at 40.3%. All right, also, if you want to see my baseball picks for today, you can follow my selections each and every day right here at bullpenpicks.com. You go to most followed. I went 7-5 yesterday, hitting 57% on the year, which is very good. And if you just go to following, you can see my baseball picks for today. They're all listed right here, along with the confidence level, and you can see those selections each and every day right here at bullpenpicks.com. There you have it, a little diamond surfing today for a Saturday, or feels like a Saturday, but it's Friday, August 5th. And again, if you enjoy the show, please hit that like button. And if you want to leave a comment into the comment area, love to hear your feedback if you do enjoy the show. And in the meantime, enjoy your Friday night. And as always, shop for value, play those percentages. I'll see you back shortly with another Raymond Report.